I'm
Okay.
at peace.
Are you okay?
I'm
You're
at
just
peace.
talking
Are
about
you at
talking a
peace?
knife and stabbing. How is that peaceful?
You just told me that I was am I gonna be offensive? What makes you think I'll be offensive?
I've asked him a question that is it going to be a respectful conversation?
No,
Why are you
say,
accusing
no,
me?
it is respectful. You say if I'm going to be offensive. There are two different things. If you say if I'm going to be respectful,
But there is no point. I'm asking him a question.
Why?
I'm asking a question
Why would you have to
pertaining
do
the
that?
direction of the conversation.
But why would you have to do that?
No, but I could say the same. That's not a conversation.
Have you
then.
come across me being disrespectful to you ever?
I don't know.
I'm asking you a question. So I think I've touched a nerve, isn't it?
No, that's what I said. It's like
I think
for
you're
me
getting
to
very
say,
defensive.
Are you going to pull up the knife and try to
You're
stab
getting
me?
very defensive.
Because although that's when Muslims do. Didn't it happen yesterday? Also,
What are you talking about?
who stabbed those people on the train?
Who did? You tell me.
Yeah, we know who did it.
Who did it?
The followers of Allah.
Prove it.
We can prove it's obvious. I
No,
can
no,
beg
it's
to
obvious.
Vegas and beg
Show
on
me.
it.
Give me the evidence. You
What's
made
the
an
evidence?
accusation.
Yeah. What was the
Prove it.
latest? Was 100% of last terrorist attacks happened in the Western world by whom?
Show me
By
that the train
followers
attack.
of Allah, right? Am I
Show
right?
me that the train attack that you've mentioned
Yeah.
was done by Muslims.
I
Show
don't have
me.
to show it to you.
You do. You've made a claim. Prove
That's
it.
why I make a claim. And time will confirm it.
So the burden of proof is on you now.
Just like the synagogue.
Prove it.
Yeah, like in the synagogue.
Prove
Do
it.
I look like a public news to you that I have to wait till the names come up and we're gonna find out that the guy's name was Jihad, who actually caused the deaths of Jews in Manchester?
Right. So you've made a claim. I'm asking you for evidence, and your response to me is, "Do I look like news?" So
Yeah.
does that mean you can make any claim, and I can't ask you
All
because you're
this-
not the news?
No, listen. All
That's-
this is
that is
continuation
very
of your,
weak
No, not
argumentation.
at all. You already had presumption somehow I'd be disrespectful towards you, which you indicated
I
somehow.
asked you a question. Will
that's
this
unnecessary
conversation be respectful?
Why wouldn't it be?
You got very defensive, saying it's like pulling out a knife and stabbing somebody.
You are in the Western world. In the Western world, we don't have to ask such a question.
Yes, we do.
No, it's
Yes.
given.
Yes, we do.
It's given. No, it's
No,
not.
it's not given,
For
no.
you, it is because
No.
you're not a Westerner,
It's
and
not.
I understand. I respect that. But I'm just.
I was
I'm
born
trying
here,
to-
so I'm a Westerner.
So what? You're not only because you're born here doesn't mean you're Westerner.
Okay, does that mean I'm an Easterner then?
Yes, you are Easterner.
Because I'm born here.
Yeah, you born.
And I
If you-
spent my whole life
If
here.
you'll be born on a plane flying, let's say, to Pakistan, you'll be a pilot.
That is the dumbest analogy I've heard the whole day.
Exactly. Exactly.
man?
That's my
Honestly.
point. That's my point.
No, that's an analogy.
You're an Asian
That's
person.
a really
You're
dumb
an
analogy.
Asian person.
I'm sorry.
Happen to be born
I'm sorry
here.
to
I
say
get
it.
it.
That's
I
a very
understand,
stupid
I understand,
analogy.
I understand. Now
What
we
do you
didn't have the
expect?
subject there. So
What do
can
you
we leave that
expect from a
aside
stupid
and talk about
guy?
Quran?
You just
expect
said
from a
that a
stupid
terrorist attack's taken place and Muslims
There you
committed
go.
it.
Of course.
I'm looking for evidence.
The evidence, knives, innocent people,
Yeah.
evening, that's enough.
That's
That's
it.
I'm
enough.
confused.
That's of
What
course
a
you'll be
typical-
confused.
So if someone has a
because you're
knife-
in denial.
If someone has a knife,
Because you're in
therefore they're a
denial.
Muslim.
No.
He call himself
When you have
gospel.
innocent people
Right.
on the train who are trying to make their way home, the only people who want to bring terror into
No.
the Western society today are the people who are followers of Allah.
Okay, give
No, it's not bullshit.
give,
You can
give
say
me
bullshit all you
gi-
want.
give me some statistics.
Of course, Christmas market attacks. Okay, the
That was done by a
concrete-
Christian.
concrete and steel barriers
was done by a Christian.
in Cambridge, in every Western city. It's not made because against Christians. It's made because of the Islamic population, which is uncontrolled and and happens to be.
Does that sound like
here
statistics to you?
in the Western
Does
Europe.
that sound like statistics to you?
Yes,
I'm
these
looking
are-
for some
yes.
stats. Give me some stats.
Attacks in Hanover, Hamburg, Italy, Spain, you name it. It's always the same thing, bringing terror to Western society. And that only happens from the Muslims. Only
Interesting.
happens from the Muslims. Doesn't happen from anyone else. I'm not saying.
Interesting.
I'm not saying. Hold on. I'm not saying that the Europeans do not commit crimes. They do.
You
But
literally
they
made
don't-
that point.
You accept
No,
it.
That's
but
literally
they
the
do
point you're
not
making.
do it for purpose of sowing terror
Okay.
into Western society.
Okay.
So
Can
then
I
there's
talk
a
now?
distinction.
Can I respond?
There's a distinction. Okay, nobody screams. You don't hear Westerners saying Allah Akbar trying to stop and kill somebody.
Yes, you do.
No, you
That's what
don't.
happened in
No, you
France.
don't.
when
France?
two little girls were stabbed, he was talking about Jesus.
France? You talking about France? You talking about
You're
France?
talking about the Western world, right?
What happened to the disco?
Is France in the Western world?
Nearly 200 people died because of the Muslims in one disco, because for you it's haram that the girls are wearing short skirts and so on, but we're still not talking about Quran. I want to talk about Quran, so let's leave that aside.
You've made a certain allegation,
Yes,
yeah?
of
Let me
course.
respond to
Yes.
that allegation. So he
Respond.
says,
Yeah.
I asked them for statistics, yeah? I asked
ahead.
them for evidence. What he did was quote a few places.
Few places,
In
hundreds
which-
of places.
Can I finish? I was listening to you, yeah?
Listen.
So let's talk about some statistics, yeah?
Yeah.
So from 0 to 2008, if you look at all of the killings that have been committed in the name of religion, number one is Christianity with a whopping 178 million. Number
okay.
two, not Islam. Number three, not Islam.
whoa.
We are not in the top three.
Please, you can
He's
speak like
laughing
this to
because
a child. You don't talk like this to me. First of all, everybody knows.
let me finish my point.
Okay,
Let me finish my
your
point. So we come all the way
Fallacy.
in number six.
Number six.
Most of the killings that have been committed and that have been done in the name of Christianity, ladies and gentlemen. Further, if we look at the crimes that have been done on a state level, not individuals brandishing with mental health issues. No, not them. We're talking about state. George W. Bush, when he invaded Iraq, he said, I was told to by God. Now you have these individuals that are told that we're waging a crusade and we're being told to by God. And you have all of these incidents that have been taking places since we can remember, statistically, physically, accurately, and when you've got the recent genocide taking place, and Benjamin Netanyahu is quoting the Bible, ladies and gentlemen. First Samuel 15 verse 3, Amalek. So whenever you're seeing grand killings on a big scale, it's only, ladies and gentlemen, being done on the basis and the foundation of the Bible. And the crimes that he's done, that he's talking about,
hold on.
the
You're
Christmas massacre,
elaborating.
that was
That
the
is
Catholic
pure
Christians, the
nonsense.
IRA, that
Listen,
were
that
killing
is-
people, doing their
these are-
Christmas shopping
You can talk
in
like
Harrods.
this to children. First of all, when you speak of Christians, Christians were killing themselves, among themselves, nation against nation. It's not like they were only going out to kill anyone else. Poles were being killed by the Russians, Germans and French fought each other. All those, so the nations were killing each other. That's one. We talk about terrorism in modern times.
Why modern times?
Also, I'm not finished. I'll let you
I don't
speak.
talk about modern times. I want to talk about old times.
Islam always has the same method: to terrorize, to overwhelm with numbers, and then outroot any culture, heritage of the nations they're living in. So they destroy temples.
He said
They would-
always,
they
listen,
would,
always,
They would
yeah?
destroy
You're listening.
temples. They would
said
submit
always,
people
yeah?
to Islam. If not, they would have to pay Jizya or whatever. So that way, as soon as they get broke, so they have to Jizya. Whatever.
Big up Al Jazeera.
You know I'm tax. Perhaps you should be paying tax over here for protecting you. Now,
What are you talking
yes,
about?
yes.
doing it.
Now
What's wrong
listen
with the
what I'm
jizya?
saying.
Tell me what's wrong with the
We're
jizya.
talking about modern times
What's wrong with the jizya?
terror. Modern times terror comes from Islam, and everybody knows it. It comes from Islam.
Okay, let me
and
respond.
Also, one more thing. Since
Okay.
we talk about politics, I ask people from Sweden, Italy, people from Finland, Norway, Switzerland, Spain, Portugal, France, UK, and especially Ireland as well. I'm asking you to have a referendum, direct referendum, if you want Islamic migration to your countries. If you don't want migration to your countries, go out to the street.
Okay.
Give your governments, give your government 6
Come
months.
on, mate.
If they're not going to give you right to referendum, if you want Islamic migration to your countries, overthrow them so you can put government who's going to listen to you, because it is your land. These people come here.
Ladies and gentlemen,
come here because of some arrangement
Notice
to
he
change
keeps
the
mentioning
fabric of European
modern
culture.
terrorism. There's a reason why he keeps mentioning
comedian. Have you seen a comedian?
There's a reason why he's talking about modern
Direct
terrorism.
referendum.
Because if you go back in the 1880s, yeah? Let's look at this century. 1880s. Who were the terrorists in the 1880s?
1880s. when we were the terrorists, there was no concept of terror in the one. I'm talking about the
Ladies
slave
and gentlemen,
trade.
he
I'm
said
talking about
there's no
slave trade.
concept of terrorism in the 1880s,
That's right.
when you had the left-wing anarchists that were killing the French president, the Spanish president, the Italian president, and the American president. Ladies and gentlemen, I think this is the definition
That's not.
of terrorism
That is-
was taking
no.
place in the
That's a
1880s.
conflict.
Let me finish.
It's a conflict.
Then let me finish. Then it's not a conflict.
It is a conflict.
People
Civil
terrorizing innocent people for political means. Then you move on to the 1930s. There's a reason. If you search this up, use any artificial intelligence or use the authentic intelligence as well. Yeah, 1930s, you had the Israeli Zionists. The Irgun, the Stern gang, and you had the Haganah. These were terrorist groups that were predominantly killing British soldiers and innocent people in libraries and the likes. So that's what was going on. Then if you go further, around the 60s, you had the Catholics, yes, the IRA Catholics, that were planting bombs in 10 Downing Street.
And what would they do?
In Harrods,
And they would
innocent
make phone
people
calls,
that were being killed. I haven't finished.
I
I haven't
would make
finished.
a phone
I
call
haven't finished.
saying there is a bomb.
Relax.
And
Then
clear the
later
space
on,
out.
around 1980s, the Tamil Tigers, they were regarded as the terrorists. They were Hindus and they were secular, ladies and gentlemen. Only now, and you've got terrorism experts like Mark Sageman and these individuals, authors like Armstrong with Fields of Blood. She says that these things happened because of invasion. If you look at Palestine before it was invaded, Iraq before it was invaded, there was no suicide attacks in Iraq. Pape tells us in Dying to Win, ladies and gentlemen. It's only when they were invaded, then they defended their lands. So ladies and gentlemen, for him to just bring out, oh, it's Muslims, they've been doing this forever and this. I've given him statistics,
Here,
I've given him
I never said they've
examples,
been doing
I've given him
forever.
facts.
I said
Let's
when
see
they
what he says
came-
now.
No, I said the Muslims in the Western world do not adapt. You live separate lives.
Different argument.
Hold on. And you saw the terror into peaceful communities. That's one. Two, you talk about politics. Now, politics run by governments is one thing. We talk about the religion. Your religion is the one that is expansionist, and you want to change the fabric of this society. And my question is, do you think that European society, nice question for you, should have a say whether the Muslim people should be brought here by thousands and thousands, or if they say, no, we don't want Muslims here, or they want a very small percentage, that should be respected. What say you?
I think the Europeans should also be asked if in their name they should be invading countries and their government stealing
There you
their
go.
lands.
You cannot
because
even answer the question.
Oh, but I am
Answer
answering
the
your
question.
question.
No,
I was
that's
listening to
diversion.
you talking.
That's diversion.
You diverted, but
You're
I'm
diversion.
actually answering your question.
No, you're not.
I'll give you an example, case in point. Obama bombed 7 countries in 6 years, and you know what happened to him? He was given a Nobel Peace Prize,
He
ladies
was
and
given,
gentlemen.
first of all, I don't like
He
that
was given
fellow,
a peace
but
prize.
he was given,
and it was majority
he
Muslim
was
countries.
given,
and now
he
when you're
was
bombing those
given-
countries,
he was given Nobel Peace
if you
Prize
bomb their countries,
at the very
where they gonna go?
beginning of his presidency.
Where did they expect
Not
it?
after.
Where they gonna
at
go?
the very beginning.
Where they gonna
he
go?
himself, he said these
Where
words.
they gonna go?
Oh, actually, I'm surprised I received it. He didn't do anything
Doesn't
yet.
wanna answer.
And he received the, I'm just saying, trying to tell you, educate you about his modern history. The Obama himself, he was supposed to receive it because he didn't do anything. He just got to the office, and soon after, months later, he already received it before bombing any country, before deporting 3 million illegals, and so on. So I'm trying to say,
No
you,
problem.
You should, oh, no.
Okay,
history
then-
matters. Also, one more thing, history matters, and we can see that you need to work on it. Also, we're talking about the state. It was the state that attacked, let's say, nations, for example, like we spoke about Bush. And what was interesting, that this country, which you claim to be part of, is actually in the eyes of international law a war criminal nation. Why is that? Because this country is part of ICC. Now, United States about 6 months or a year before attack on Iraq in 2003. They withdrew from ICC, so that way there would be no liability for them as a nation, while UK remained. So if you claim to be British, you're a war criminal because you indirectly support this nation who is in violation of Geneva laws and UN resolutions and Statute of Rome. So there you go.
Right.
So you're a war criminal, and it was makes it worse for you. And actually, you support government which kills your own fellow Muslims.
Right.
Shame on you.
Okay, thank you. So he made the argument.
That's history for you.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the first point he made was about Obama, yeah? He said he was given the Nobel Prize before.
That's
Okay,
right.
then when he invaded the 7 countries, they could have taken it back. what sort of argument is that?
I don't know if they could.
One of the
I know how it
leaders of
works.
Burma, if I'm not mistaken, her Nobel Prize was rescinded, and this is a case in point. You can rescind a Nobel Peace Prize if the person goes against it. So that was a very pointless argument. Then the second point he said was, just because I am born in a country and I am part of a country, he has assumed that I agree with every one of their policies. This guy doesn't understand politics 101.
I do understand politics
You
101.
have various political parties
It's called democracy.
that disagree with the government. In fact, most people disagree with what Keir Starmer's doing. So I don't understand the point that he's making, that just because you're in a country and just because you have a nationality of a country, that now means that because the government is doing something, now that means every person in that country is held responsible.
There you go.
That's a
So you
very poor
Exactly.
argument.
No, and you slowly begin to understand. My point was very simple. The expansion of this religion of Islam in Europe, which is unwanted by most of the Europeans, okay, is against their will. However, the state
Where's
permits
the evidence for that? Give me a poll.
What do you mean?
Give me a poll.
That's what I mean. Let's have direct democracy.
Give me a poll.
Now, as I said, let's have
No
direct
numbers.
democracy, a vote, and let's find out whether they want Islamic migration to Europe.
So in other words,
what do you think is going to happen?
he
What do you
has
think
no
is going to
poll.
happen? What do you think
He
is going to
says
happen?
we should have a poll.
What do you think is going to
I
happen?
don't know the future. I think
You
they
don't
will
know
love
the
us.
future.
Absolutely.
You think you will
I
love
think
us?
They're not.
Yeah,
they're
for
not
what?
bigots like
For
you.
what?
They're
For
not
what?
bigots like
Then
you.
now when I was on the train, on the bus, I have to worry if there's a Muslim because he might pull out a knife, or because I'm going to take a train back and I have to sit in such a way against the wall and watch because I don't know if another Muslim is not
This
going to
is
pull out a knife.
uninformed.
How is that
This
in
is
any way that
uninformed,
would love us
bigoted
here?
behavior.
No one
That
wants
just because somebody has a
terror.
knife-
No one wants terror.
Just because somebody has a knife, therefore they're a Muslim.
No,
So
I didn't
he
say
hasn't
that.
given a single statistic. He just named a couple
What
of
are you talking about? Listen,
incidents
listen.
and a couple of
Governments-
countries.
governments-
No proof, no
governments-
academia,
no, listen,
nothing.
Listen, governments,
You have nothing.
Governments suppress information about the true amount,
Now
numbers
he's talking
of
about
attacks,
conspiracy.
and everybody knows, not conspiracy.
I can't win with this guy.
No, listen, listen.
No evidence, no academia, nothing.
No, listen. I told you, you already started conversation.
Just give me one
with
poll.
presuming.
One poll, just one.
One poll.
Yes.
Okay, reform is leading in the polls against any other
That's
party.
not a poll.
Okay, yes, that's a
That's
poll.
anecdotal
That is a
evidence
poll. And
of
here's
them
the problem.
leading.
And I want you
What's
to
the
listen.
poll?
I want you to listen to me
Which
carefully.
poll?
I want you to listen to me carefully. I don't like those people at all because they're real racists. But the problem is,
Reform are
now
racist.
listen. They're
think
racist. I think they're racist. Yes, that's my view. And now listen. I want to make my point. And here's what I need you to understand. Here's what you need to understand. The government today is turning people against law-obeying Muslim people who have done nothing wrong. But this government,
Yeah.
by muzzling them,
Yeah.
by not allowing them to express themselves and express how they feel about this migration, what they do, they're turning majority, the Europeans, against normal, decent Muslim people. And I'm against it. I'm against reform.
think
I
there
do
should be
believe
more
they're
conversations,
racist.
yeah?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that.
No way. No. A real conversation.
I agree there
a
should be more
real
conversation.
democracy. A real democracy. And let me tell you one more thing on camera. Here's on camera. I can pull out my phone. If you wish, I'll show it to you. I myself, I filed to ICC a legal complaint against this government for the crimes committed in Iraq. and I got a response. And since I knew
Good job.
they're all doing the same job, they're all just cleaning each other's back and have each other's back.
Yeah.
I knew nothing's gonna happen. You want me to show you, or you
No,
take
it's
my
good.
word for
I'll
it?
take your word for it.
Okay, so you see, I'm not against Muslim people. However, I see things getting out of control. And here's the problem. Either you're going to speak with decent people, or you're going to have real racists coming your way.
Tell me some of
and
the
the
worries
problem
you
is,
have.
and the problem is that the only thing they're going to have on their mind is
Yeah.
to hurt innocent
Tell
people.
me some of the concerns
innocent
you have.
people. Do you
Tell
understand
me-
what I'm saying?
yeah.
And I hate the
Tell me
fact.
some of your
Hold
concerns.
on, I want to say one more thing. I hate the fact that innocent Muslim people, whether it's women or children or young adults or adults, I hate the concept that some race is going to go and they're going to hurt them. I hate that concept. I'm against it. So don't think I'm your enemy. We have disagreements, and we're gonna have disagreements, and what's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Okay, we may have disagreements. However, we have to be sober in mind. Sober in mind. If you know that the tempers
good, I
are
like this.
rising, if the
Yeah.
tempers are rising, we gotta talk.
Yeah.
We gotta talk.
Absolutely, that's what we're doing.
Okay.
You mentioned jizya. Tell me your understanding of jizya. Maybe we
Jizya
can
in Islamic
clarify.
countries.
Why do you say Muslims not allowed in the UAE?
Say that again.
Why are some Muslims not allowed to fly flags in the UAE?
Some Muslims aren't allowed in the UAE
Like the Brotherhood's been banned in the UAE. Why is that? What's
because they regard them as a terrorist organization, isn't it?
okay? And why is it allowed to be? Like, why are the flags allowed to be flown here?
What flag of which? What's the
There's
flag?
certain flags. I don't want to be specific, but you know, I think you're aware of what I'm talking about.
I haven't seen
Mildly.
Muslim Brotherhood flags, but you can show me. Like
Fair
I can
enough.
check.
I feel like
I don't know.
there is a lot of leniency in this country, and a lot of people get to do what they want to do. But the people that released your book and how to follow your religion don't allow some Muslims into the same country or to practice their level of faith. I guess what they believe is right, as compared to here. You know.
Yeah,
And I
because
think that it has been taken advantage of it because of the let's say the politeness of the British. Like, to an extent, and I don't think everybody is the same. You know, I would never label
the
everybody
same
as
can
the
be.
same.
I'm inclined to agree to a level, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's coming from the people. For example, there's a good book written by Mark Curtis. He's actually doesn't speak too positively about Muslims, but you can take it as a balanced view. There's actually a whole chapter in his book called Secret Affairs in which he actually says that the British government actually allowed the leaders and organizations in London so they can keep eyes and tabs on them for their national interests. So that's why it's not necessarily that they've allowed people to come in because of the goodness of their heart. It's actually done for national interest
other
reasons,
people. Yeah,
because
I've
they
heard
have
about this as well.
interests. They have interests in the Middle East, oil-bearing principalities and the likes. So they want to keep an eye and be involved in the politics of, say, Libya, Syria, and the likes.
Do you condemn those kind of people that inflict war in that extensive manner? You know, like the Brotherhood that I'm talking about. There, are you for them? Because I know I grew up with a lot of Muslims, and I know that you guys won't watch another man fight another non-Muslim. without
Killing
getting involved.
innocent people. Look,
I'm
this
not saying
is
even killing. I'm just saying even fighting to a point of fighting and sticking up for each
Yeah,
other.
fighting
even
for-
if you don't morally agree. You know, like it's.
look. We're told
It's a
that
difficult argument, man.
we're told that it's better for you to stick by a non-Muslim upon the haqq and the truth than a Muslim that's upon falsehood. That's why even this is an issue that we tell each other as well, that just because someone's brown and happens to be a Muslim, if they've got bad policies, you shouldn't be voting for them. It's better to be voting for a non-Muslim with better policies. So that actually informs your answer, that if there is a group and they are not following Islamic principles, then you shouldn't be following or doing what they're doing, or even contributing to that.
So there's slight contradictions though, you know. They say that you guys can't sell out your own brother. You know, like there's things that you would rather keep
You can,
secret.
you can.
But man, I've read it, man. I've read it.
It's in the
Do
Quran.
read it.
Abu
Do read
Bakr
it.
radiallahu
I read
anhu.
everything, man. I tried to
Brother,
read everything. Bro.
okay,
I'm not trying to condemn.
hear my answer,
Yeah, please,
and then
please,
if
please, go
you
ahead.
can give me a counter evidence, I'll be interested to hear your view.
Yeah, fair enough.
So after the Prophet, peace be upon him, passed away, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he had to wage war.
The beginning or the end?
This
Are you
was
quoting at
straight
the beginning or after he
right
died?
at the beginning
Right at the beginning. Okay.
of
so it
Abu
was-
Bakr's caliphate.
He had a slightly different outlook.
Of
than you.
Abu Bakr's caliphate,
Yes, sir.
he had to fight with the Muslims that were causing corruption in the land. And this is even in the Quran. Muslims Even if they're Muslims and they're causing corruption in the land,
Don't
you fight with them.
Don't you think that living in this country and seeing the inflictions that are being made on the people of this country, it's your part to stand up and stop things like that happening as well?
Like
as well
what?
as us as well.
Like what?
Like the injustices that are done to normal standard people.
Like what?
Well, I mean, there's attacks going on for. Listen, I don't want to say it's religious warfare because it's not that.
No, be honest, bro, because like the brother was
Well, that's
saying,
what it looks
we
like,
want
you know? That's
we
what
want
it
to have a
looks like, bro.
dialogue.
That's what it looks
I
like.
have to hear you out, and I don't want you to muzzle yourself like
I'm not,
you're
I'm not. I
saying.
just want to word properly because I don't want to be misunderstood, you know?
No problem. I'll let you word it, and then I'll respond.
No, I just, again, like I said, I was just floating with a thought, but yeah, so I'm kind of bouncing off you at the
Yes.
moment as well.
Okay, let me try to respond, and
Yes,
then you
please.
can tell me if I've hit the mark or not.
Of course.
I'll give the response or a case study that maybe you were referring to. So say the whole grooming issue, yeah?
I'm just saying, when you guys stick up, that's what I was trying to say. I'm so sorry.
No
so when
problem.
you guys witness these things happening, yeah, in a different country where you are trying to build your own family and your
Yeah.
own status, yeah, and you see cohesive people living with you outside of the religion, yeah,
Yeah.
outside of people, just normal people like us, yeah, we live side by side. When you see these injustices, we kind of look at you, normal guys like us, to stop that within your sector. You know what I mean? The same way you would look at us to stop, or you hold us responsible for the government that's here. When
Yeah.
some of us weren't even born here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, it's difficult. Some of us shouldn't even be paying for stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I understand where you guys are coming from.
And which
as well. I
crime
try
are
to-
you referring to?
There's many injustices that have been done. Like you say, Iraq, that was silly. That was America, and they've
America and Britain
again, like Britain backed it because
and Poland and Australia.
they just
Yeah.
follow. It's silly shit. But I wasn't born here. Sorry, pardon me. I wasn't born here, but I shouldn't have to answer for stuff like that. You understand?
The thing with Iraq was that there was one of the biggest protests that's taken place in British history, where people literally took to the streets and they were unhappy. And they actually did an injustice in Iraq. It was an illegal war.
It's horrific.
And the head of the MI5, Manningham Buller, actually told the political elites that you're going to get a backlash and there's going to be a rise of extremism. They ignored that. Obama himself in a CNN interview said that ISIS was a blowback because of our invasion in Iraq. That's what happens, brother. When you go into these countries, Daniel Hale was a whistleblower and he got imprisoned. Why? Because he said 90% of the drone attacks in Afghanistan get innocent people. Now, bro, you kill one innocent person, bro, he's pissed. He's going to be angry.
Don't you think they should target like where the government is rather than the standard people? You know what I mean?
They do, bro.
Like, that's
but
what should be attacked. It shouldn't be the standard people. If you're really about peace, you should preserve the peace among standard people.
they do, and that's why if you see that the highest victims of ISIS are actually Muslims.
So sad to see, bro.
Do you
It's
see?
So sad to see.
And people try and make it out like, oh yeah, it's the Muslims against everybody else. That's completely false.
But this is what's giving you guys your name, you know.
If-
and like,
if-
you're gonna have to
bro.
run with it, bro. Unless you guys stop.
But here's the thing,
Unless
look.
you guys stop it somehow, you know.
In the last, I think it's in the last 15 years, yeah. If you look at the deaths of Muslims, about
It's alright. You don't have to quote, man. It's all right.
5 million Muslims have been killed in the last 15 years, according to Brown University. What I'm trying to say is, bro, that sort of stuff will not be highlighted. Even according to Georgia State University, when a Muslim does something, it gets 4.5 times more coverage. Why? Because it makes sense
There's
to have.
agendas, yeah, there's
it
definitely
makes
agendas.
it makes sense for somebody, for there to be a group to otherize, to scapegoat. However, if you actually look, bro, for you, you're actually in this country. For you to be a victim of terrorism, you're actually more likely, 27 times more likely to be struck by lightning than you are to be a victim of
I
terrorism.
just wanted to remind you guys here, you're talking about not politics, you're trying to discuss religion, man. Stay away
Yeah.
from politics because none of us
Well,
are politicians.
actually, hold on,
guys,
hold on.
man.
I
And
would like
hope
to
there's
say,
peace, man.
I love
Yeah, no, I
history.
appreciate it.
There's something I was going to say to you.
Sure.
You see, there's this amnesia going on in the Western world, especially in Britain, United States, which comes, let's say, I'll give you a little background, a historical background. When Hussein invaded Kuwait, what happened was, as soon as that 100-hour war ended, soon after, there was a plan of prepared a war reparations to the nation of Kuwait, which obliged Iraq to pay up for the damages, and the payments lasted till 2016, I think. The last payment was made. The reason I'm saying it to you, nobody's somehow this amnesia going on. Have you heard any politician speaking about paying war reparations for the people of Iraq for unjust war? Chilcot, who prepared that report, famous Chilcot report, he concluded his report that the mistakes were made, which we know means nothing but admission of guilt of the war crime, and yet nobody speaks about the war reparations. Some
because
estimates is about
people are
1 million.
People are tired of the hypocrisy. If you look, Tony Blair was the
I'm
leader.
aware of it.
No,
I'm
look,
aware of
Tony
it.
Blair is now being given. He's been made head of the Gaza project. How ironic!
Of course, I know.
How ironic.
I know.
It's like a spit in the face.
I'm on the same page.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying. So you see, initially saying, "Oh, I'm a rude guy." It depends what you mean by you.
I was
you
asking.
ask. Yeah.
I was asking,
There's
yeah.
no need. You can see right now. Actually, I'm well intended towards the Muslims. I didn't care they were Muslims when I filed that thing. I'd be more than happy to show you the response from ICC, if you in case of any doubt. So
It's good. I respect that. If
But
someone
what I'm-
does stuff like that, I respect that.
Yeah, so what I'm saying to you, nothing is Islamic people. However, the fact of the matter is
What do you
this.
think about the point that you were saying that just because somebody's got a knife or something like this, automatically you're going to assume that they're Muslims because Muslims want to kill
Okay,
people?
so hear me out. Hear me out on this one. Okay, if that was offensive, then I apologize. I didn't mean by offense. However, let me
Do
make
you think
something.
it was accurate?
No, yeah. Let me tell you what's accurate, because
Okay.
I want you to understand. I want you to understand my side,
Right.
and also many other people's side. So there's no doubt where I'm coming from.
Okay.
If I walk in my city,
Yeah.
which is very small Muslim population, very small. There's a big mosque, few mosques, but it's capital.
Right.
There's no safety barriers. There's no some extra security or nothing like this, right? I can walk out. I can go for Christmas during Christmas time for a market, never thinking about the cars going around through and all that crazy stuff that happens in Germany pretty much every winter or other places. You know it. So what happens is a question of consciousness. Why should I feel in any way wary by boarding the train? Do you understand what I'm saying? Why should I feel in any way wary on the Christmas during the Christmas time where the markets they sell all those nice things and so on? Why should I be wary and see police and see safety barriers? Let's say here in England or in the Western European countries. Why? It should not be. If
Because
in
of what
fact,
Ian Cobain said. Ian Cobain said that if you look in the last 100 years in UK history, there hasn't been 1 year since they haven't been part of some war or conflict.
yeah, but this also applies to nations which were not involved.
And they have to also deal with this as well.
But they also have to deal with it.
No, sorry, not
Austria.
no,
Austria
no,
was not
Switzerland.
involved.
Switzerland's not involved. They don't have to deal with this.
They do have to deal with it. Not to such an extent, I agree with you, but they still Austrians have to deal with it.
Austria's,
Yeah, they do.
It's been involved.
They do. How they were involved? Please tell me.
Yeah, when it comes to interference in the Middle East, right?
Austrians?
Yes.
The last interference of Austrian government was to during the Obama administration
there
to
you go.
refuse Turkey to be admitted into the for the accession talks of Turkey into the EU. That was the last thing
That's
you could
one
hear
example of many.
politically. But Austrians do not involve themselves politically. They just like during the Cold War, they were always neutral. They
Let
were
me give
not.
you an example, yeah?
Go ahead.
So in Afghanistan and Iraq, yeah, similarly to what you've said, that you should be able to walk around in peace over here without fear of being attacked.
That's right.
Similarly in Afghanistan and Iraq, they say the same thing, that we should be able to walk in our village in peace without black water operatives that are going to be in plain clothing, that are going to rape our women, attack our people, arrest them.
I hear you.
And,
Okay, so
you know
let me
what I
get
mean?
it. So let me get it straight, because I'm trying to learn from you.
Yeah, yeah.
I told you dialogue. Yeah.
Of course.
So you're saying that the action of the states
Has a trickle-down effect.
The government states. Hold on. The action of the governments of the Western states then cause a response of the religious of this particular religion of Islam by the way they're acting. Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is that when you've got people that are fearing for their life, then similarly there becomes an it's not religious based actually. Religion will be utilized to galvanize the people. However, as we've seen with the anarchists, they were left-wing guys, but they still galvanized behind a political ideology. And similar with IRA, people will claim that they're Catholics and this and that, but let's face it, they were worried about colonization of England. So it's the same with the Tamil Tigers. Were they Hindus? No, they were worried about colonization of, you know,
Are
these
you
sorts of things.
saying? So here's perhaps we're narrowing things down.
Yeah.
I agree with you that the state, when bombs civilians, that's a war crime.
Yeah.
But then when you have, let's, I don't want, I don't, I don't.
Yesterday attack is not terror attack, force, right? It's not terror attack. It's mental issue, right? Because it's not Muslim.
Okay, you're interrupting. No,
He's talking about the train
Yeah,
thing you
I
mentioned.
know,
Yeah, yeah.
I know.
'Cause it wasn't regarded
Yeah.
as Muslim or terror related. That's why initially I was asking you for evidence.
Listen. There are too many. Look, I follow the news, and again, don't. As I said, we can have disagreements.
Yeah.
We can have exactly opposite views on things, which is perfectly fine. I think that's a very masculine thing to oppose each other, because that's how we learn from each other. We both become sharp. Nothing wrong with it. However, everything with reason. And my point was this: if the states commit war crimes, then what I'm saying to those people, when they intentionally attack innocent people,
That's wrong.
you understand? Like those girls somewhere in the Cornwall. Do you understand? Come on, that's insane.
abhorrent.
Don't tell me that's a normal thing.
Let me give you a poll.
If you go,
Let me give you a
let's say
poll.
if the Muslims would go against the soldiers, let's say Western soldiers, so okay, so they go against the.
Let me give you some evidence.
Yeah, go ahead.
There was a poll done by Gallup, a Gallup poll, and they asked people of different religions, is it ever okay to kill innocent people? Yeah. The religious adherents with the highest number that said no, you shouldn't, were Muslims. So, and even in our theology, we're told killing innocent people is not allowed. It's not an Islamic principle. It's nowhere found in the Quran or the Hadith. It's simply not permissible. Somebody that does it, I can stand here and I can openly condemn such people that kill innocent people. It's not allowed. However, when the question now is, why is it happening? Why this? Then you have academics like Karen Armstrong saying in her book Fields of Blood and her looking at it. And you've got people like Mark Sageman and I think in 2008 the MI5 also said this. The people that do these attacks, they, according to our studies, are not religious. It's actually an absence of religion and a more extremist ideology. For example, certain hostages that were kept by ISIS, when they were interviewed afterwards, they said those guys that kept them hostage, according to them, were not religious because they didn't have copies of the Quran when they were asked. They didn't pray, and when they were listening to their conversations, they were not religious. They were mostly secular and mostly liberal.
I'm going to acknowledge what you're saying. I'm not going to dispute that. I think you probably should finish. I thought we were going to speak about Quran maybe some other time. You know, I hope now you see. Actually, I didn't have any intention to be rude.
No, I like this conversation.
Yeah,
It's good.
same here.
And you made a very good point, and that's what it reminded me of what somebody said last week. He's an Englishman, but he's Muslim. He said, "Look, we need these clashes when ultimately a good conversation can be had, because there are people that are frustrated with what's going on."
Yeah.
That's why I resonated with that.
Yeah.
And that's why I said, you know what? I'd rather that you took that energy and you gave it, and we ended up sharing ideas because we need to have this conversation.
And again, I want to emphasize, and my heart will break if innocent people will get hurt. Do you understand? The innocent ones.
Yeah.
If you're going to get groups of uncontrolled people who are going to try to take revenge for those attacks or something, I tell you, I would not even want to. I would dissociate myself from it. Do you understand what I mean? It'll be the most despicable thing ever. But
Look,
clearly,
I
government.
have a big channel,
Yeah.
Now, if I was doing taqiyya or something like that, I would have worded it in a different way, but this is going to go out, and I am unequivocally saying, you should not be attacking innocent people.
Of course.
No unambiguous statement, no ifs, no buts. Do not attack innocent people. Have dialogue. Learn about your religion. Have the uncomfortable conversation.
Frank, exactly. Pleasure.
Brother,
Yeah.
take it easy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the
Take
microphones,
that.
and then we'll touch base again sometime.
Okay, yeah, all the best.
Take it easy.
Yeah.